There we go, we are live. Hey everybody, how are we doing? Hey cool, how are you doing? So, today we are completing, oh sorry, I was knocking the camera, great start. We are completing our second Inner Circle Companion. We got to the highlighting stage yesterday. As you can see, he has a few red highlights and stuff like that on him. Evening Grey Slayer, how are you doing? So today we'll be completing this last one. We'll be good to know you're okay, cool. We're going to be completing this last of the last of the highlights, and then we'll be starting our third and final Inner Circle companion, who's pretty cool looking. But he'll be probably finished off, that third one will probably finish off tomorrow. But regardless, let's get on with today's stream. Thank you everybody for being patient for the slight delay. We had some company over. Someone came to meet the little wee one, which was lovely. So we just started streaming a little bit later today. Ahoy all! Mr. Nerd is in the chat. Is the wee one still? Isn't that the chaplain? They're all just called the Inner Circle companions, all three of them. So, what Lego set are you working on, Gray? Oh, you're working on Lego. So this is our last guy we did the other day. We're completing this color scheme on the other one as well. But I'm going to be starting with Dark Reaper, just to do the blue along the bottom of his tunic, and then after that I'll be going in with some Warpstone Glow to do the green highlights. Ferrari SF24. Ooh, we've got some cars going. How long have you been working on that one, Gray? I swear that third one is as a modal. These three kind of come as a set. If they do them individually, I don't know. They might do. It only arrived today, so about 15 minutes. So not too long then. But obviously, time will only tell how long that will actually take. I've been working on video content and taking care of the little one all day. And now obviously I am doing some streaming. So today's been pretty preoccupied. Also nice for you to have a little bit of downtime to do something else other than basing or Warhammer, Gray. You have other hobby time. There we go. On his gun, I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of Wazdaka Red as a little bit of a highlight. And then I'll move on to the green highlights, actually. I'm so sorry, my single brain cell was focusing on typing. I missed that. No worries, Gray. Just saying it's nice for you to have time to do something other than just like your painting and your base painting. You can have some time for a hobby. Get to relax. Oh, for sure. Yeah. To be honest, it felt a bit like that today when my friend came around to meet the little one. Because the only person... Ahoy, ahoy. Hello, Summit. How are you? I've got a Red Bull for Xmas, so this will be my second. Very nice. Dedicating some time this year to a new addiction my family knows me well. I was going to say... A Wild Summit has arrived. Yes, a Wild Summit has arrived. Are you still off now, Summit, or have you gone back to work again? Because I know you said you had a few days off. It's one of those things, isn't it? You develop certain hobbies and suddenly it's like, oh, this has become like a whole new thing and now I need all of it. Equally, birthday presents and Christmas presents are sorted. Makes it very easy to buy for. Picking up a little bit of Warpstone Glow now, just to do the green highlights. So this is the exact same thing I did when I did my lion. I went in with black and then went around the edges with Warpstone. So I'm just tying them together. Also have a second channel. What are you doing on the second channel, cool? I hate wild. It's a very tame summit has arrived. In work tomorrow and Saturday, off Sunday and Monday. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Animations. Oh, very cool. Yeah, so I went in with Moot Green and Warpstone when I did Lion for his black armor. So I'm just doing the exact same thing for the companions. Just because I want to keep them uniform. Would you like to meet the other channel? Sure. Longinius, hey everyone. Hi, how are you? Just touching that green onto his sword as well, just to tie them together. Hopefully it's in focus. There we go. Looks great. Thank you. Evening, everyone. Hello, Stender. A wild Stender has also appeared. How are you? Has your partner had a chance to look at those zoos yet, Stender? This must be the animations channel you're talking about. Cool. Blue boosting animations. Very nice. Also just got a notification that someone else has just joined our Discord. Thank you so much. Everybody's here today. It's lovely. Just a subtle reminder, if anybody is here who has not already subscribed to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel, because obviously we are a little community slowly growing. We'd love to have everybody here. And down in the description you will also find a link to our Discord channel. So if you have Discord and you want to share your minis or talk about anything nerdy, then that's your place. If you want to go have a look there, we have fun. If you want to join us, feel free. And also don't forget to like the stream, because it pleases the algorithm gods. I'm great. Had a great day out in the nature today, and yes, she's very interested in those zoos. Guess I'm going to Warhammer World. I guess so. Get in the Discord, peeps. Thank you. This channel has 3 videos. Awesome. I'll have to have a look at that after the stream call. Over on the Discord at the moment, we are having some fun talking about the 1 million minis challenge and how much people are pledging. So if anybody has any intentions to do that, you can list them down below in the channel in there strictly dedicated to it. So if you want to talk about what you're planning for that, then share it over there. I think Mr. Nerd has pledged about 50 odd, like 50 or so models. So he's going to be very, very busy painting those between now and May. Just grabbing the Citadel's app up again so I can confirm my highlight colours for my light grey areas. Because I believe it's White Scar. But I want to double check. But already I can say, just from looking around me, I have 7 at the moment, just that I can visually see, that I've already done, which are all going to be contributing towards my pledge for the minis challenge. So I have quite a few already. It will be using white. I'll be using White Scar for my highlight for any light grey areas. But for now, we're going to go on to our metallics. And we're going to start with Liberator Gold. As far as like a compromise, I think that's a pretty good compromise. Being able to, for your partner to be able to go to the zoo, and in exchange you get to go to Warhammer World. That feels like a very good compromise to me. Is this the first time you've been able to get out and about since your surgery, Stender? Has anybody else got any plans for today? Best compromise ever. Thanks for the assist, you're welcome. Yeah, I've been at home since Monday. It was great seeing the outside today. Posted the Bee LaCroix finished a while ago on Discord. I will have a look at that in just a second. I can already hear my cat causing ruckus. We're off to a great start. Give Mr. Nerd seal of approval apparently already. I haven't seen it yet. I have my laptop in front of me obviously for streaming. So every time there's like Discord notification it pops up on my screen as well. So I keep getting notifications for both. I'm like, oh. I'm glad you got to get out in the fresh air today, Stender, and get some much needed fresh air, I'm sure. Because as much as obviously it's important for you to recover from your surgery, I also understand being inside constantly can make you go a little bit stir crazy. Not the pog thing again. Belacor looks pog. That seems to be Mr. Ned's favourite thing to say. The golf course near where I live is floated halfway up the hill. Oh dear. Sorry, I'm distracting Mr. Nerd. Don't worry, it's very easy to distract Mr. Nerd. It's completely fine. His job today is just to kind of stay with the wee one. As long as he's staying with the wee one, then he's doing his job. So you can distract him. He'll be in the same room, so... Fresh air was definitely welcome. I also made a post on Facebook today asking for specifically Danish sweets for you guys. The replies were interesting. Oh, I'm very intrigued now, Stender. Very intrigued. We've had some Swedish sweets in the past. So I'd be interested to know what else comes to play. Do you have that salted licorice or is that Swedish? Like I had the salted licorice I had was Swedish, but is it a Danish thing too? Because I've had that and that was interesting. I didn't hate it. I didn't necessarily like it, but I had it. It was an interesting flavour, would be the way to describe it for me. Salted licorice is very common, yeah. I thought it would be. Some of the stuff they brought over when we had the Swedish stuff was so good. It's one of those things where like I wanted more of it afterwards, but the shipping cost was extortionate on some of the stuff. Can't remember half the names now though, that's the problem. For the wings, I'm just going to go in with some white scar. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was Swedish or generally a Scandinavian thing. Can I ask, how do you use contrast paints properly? So I'm still learning with contrast paints, but because we've actually got a video coming out on it this week, it'll be going out tomorrow. Our most famous candy is German though. but we have our own stuff as well. With contrast paints, cool. Similar to a shade paint, because obviously it's similar consistency, you do want to apply it over the figure, preferably on a light base, like a white, grey, or kind of like a bone colour. And you want to drag it over the product and let it sink into the recesses and blot off any extra. You don't want extreme pooling, like on your flat surfaces. This is just white scar now. I'm just going over the outer edges of these wings on some of them just to add some highlight. Okay, no worries. What is your most famous candy though? So here in the UK, obviously in England, we have stuff like Cadbury's. We have a Cadbury's World in the UK actually, which I went to religiously as a child. Great fun summer trips going to the a little chocolate factory. Squashies are really tasty. Warhips is a good video or two about using contrast paints. Yes, but definitely check out Nerdy Miniatures first and foremost if they have an upcoming video. Thanks, Dunder. But of course, obviously, if anybody else has any videos on contrast paints, feel free to have a look at that. The most famous brand in Denmark is probably Haribo, which is German. Yeah, Haribo's pretty famous, to be honest. Knocking the camera. My apologies. Yeah, tomorrow's video is going to be on these boys specifically, which are painted entirely using contrast paints. So they're the Terror Wings from the Hunters of Huanxi Warcry. There's 2 of the 3 here. I haven't painted the 3rd one yet, but I'm going to be painting the entire army. So this was like my first time painting with contrast paints. It was like a how I did it / also review on how I think the different contrast paints work. It's also very colourful for me, which is not really something I do. I don't usually use really vibrant colours, so it was a bit of a new one for me. You've made me want Haribo now. We went out shopping today because we were going to go last night. Nadia posted a picture of the models and I asked for a bit of advice on what I should do next. What is the advice that you're asking for? Because obviously I'll have a look at the images and stuff in a little while. What you should do next. I see. So for your glowing effect, you've got a couple of options. You can either go over the top with a, like what I sometimes do is I'll go in with a technical paint. Like, this is very bright. This is Tesseract Glow. I'll use a white base and go over the top with this. If not, if you want to go in with the paint you've already got, which I'm assuming that's Moot Green, because you've asked about that one before, you can still go in with a lighter base, the lighter the base underneath, and then go in with a thin coat of the paint over the top. That should make it glow more, and obviously make the areas around it darker. Because if you want a specific part that looks glowing, you kind of want the area around it to be a bit darker so it stands out more. Has anybody got any more plans for the rest of the day? I have Aldari Emerald. Does that work for Darken? I don't know if I have that paint off the top of my head. I'd have to have a look on the website. If it's a darker colour than Moot Green, then it will darken around the edges. It's just to kind of, if you want a specific area to stand out, you're better off building darkness around it and then making that bright colour be like a standout piece. Like, a bit of an example is on this suit, for example, this is Warpstone, but because the base is black, the green stands out a bit more, if that makes sense. Had a busy day, but I'm trying to convince myself to finish my Skaven Screaming Bell for my channel tonight and edit it tomorrow. See, I was writing the script for tomorrow's video and that took me a while today because it was obviously a first experience using contrast paints, so I'm not going to sit there on the channel and tell you all about how to use contrast paints like an expert, because I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. It was my first experience using it, and I'm writing it as if it's my first experience using it. I love a good Screaming Bell. Did you go for the tarnished bronze look for it? But yeah, the script is written from the point of view of someone who is a noob painting using contrast paints for the first time. So if anybody is new to finding it, they're not just gonna... Obviously some might find it useful, but they might just see someone who's very new to it go, ah, for future reference, I will probably avoid that shade or use more of this shade. Because as you saw from my models, I use quite a lot of very, very vibrant colours. And even though the contrast paints, some of them are super, super pigmented. So I talked about like how I would go about thinning those down, or how you could go about thinning those down, even though I didn't do that for this video. But I have used contrast paints in the past where I have done that, and it's worked fine. Yeah, you've done quite a lot today already, Stendhal. Obviously going out and about for the first time after a surgery. It's understandable you're going to be a little bit exhausted after that is a busy day. I'm actually trying out Streaking Grime for the first time on my Screaming Bell to make it a bit grimdark. Might go horribly wrong though. Hey, it's a learning experience. Everything's a learning experience. I sent a picture of the paints I own, aka the greens. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. If you were to go around the edges of that area, because obviously you've got some Warpstone Glow there, you could use the contrast paint Striking... I can't even read that now. Striking Scorpion Green. You go over the top with a little bit of that. That might help to brighten it up a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Worst case, Verdigris might work. Yep. There's always a way. Whether it's intentionally gone that way or not is a different story, but there is always a way. Just having a sip of tea. Since the wee one has come along, it's been almost impossible for me to finish a cup of tea whilst it is still warm, so I'm trying to make a conscious effort to make sure I drink it before it goes cold. Right. It's going to go in with a little bit of... So I've been concentrating on the Lego. Absolutely understandable, Grey. You don't want to not focus on that, because then suddenly you'll be missing a piece. I'm looking forward to Mr. vs. Mrs. Nerd painting video next Saturday. I'm finally picking up the paintbrush. Yes. So next week we are bringing out a Mr. vs. Mrs. video. We're painting the exact same figure. Verdigris is a safe bet. I'm not a safe better though. Well, worst case scenario, if it comes down to that, you've got an option. And it does look cool. Yeah, so Mr. Dad and I are painting the exact same figure. It's a little plague boy. And we're going to be just comparing it. So it is... Sorry. Yawning again. It's a competition as such as to see where we are as far as talents. But at the same time, it's also a way to, you know, compare our skills against each other. So contrast paints can be used in a few different ways, but if you're looking to make them pop, do a bright colour where you want it to be, vibrant, i.e. white, and then go over it with a contrast paint. Hello, Signed, how are you? Just going to go in with some Ushabti Bone over any of the pledges, specifically the fabric here. This is a highlight shade. And I just have a bit of a silver highlight to do. And then after that, it will be onto just in the base and then onto our third and final figure. Like a good way to think about how to use them is if you painted your mini in grayscale colour and then painted the contrast over the top, it tints whatever is underneath. Yeah, so cool. If you were to go over it the way you've done the green with white or something like that, and then go over it with that really vibrant contrast paint, it will make it really, really glow. Tired, miffed, overwhelmed and undermotivated. Oh dear. but fine otherwise. Are you okay, signed? I'm trying to make the Sorcerer glow brighter because I want to make a decent looking figure to make it my main project before the Hellbrute gets built. So contrast over a dark colour won't be a good idea, but be good, but the lighter the colour underneath, the brighter it will be. Obviously you've gone over, underneath you have moot green, but if you were to go in with white and then the contrast paint, it would really make it stand out. Or you could go in and do some white highlights over the green and then go over the top with contrast, and that will make elements of it really like pop out and stand out. %, yeah. So that might be the best way to go. Cool. If you pick up a brush that's like really, really thin, similar to the one I've got in my hand here, and where you've applied that green, just do a couple tiny stripes of white, and then go in with that bright green, and that'll make it stand out. So when's the Mr. versus Mrs. painting challenge? That is next week, signed. Next Saturday that's coming out. So I've sprayed the figures today, so I'll be painting them over the next couple of days. Or kind of whenever. As soon as tomorrow's video is up and ready, my main focus will be getting that done. And then I will, once that's kind of done, I will then move on to painting the rest of the Warcry Warriors of Huanxi set. Alright, looking forward to it. Good, I'm glad. It will be interesting. Because Mr. Nerd is incredibly good at painting. He just doesn't do it very often, but he is very, very good at it. Whereas I do it quite continuously, so it'll be interesting to compare our skills. Like anything to do with base painting, I know I would absolutely lose versus Mr. Nerd. Mistakes are part of the process. Show me an expert painter that doesn't make a mistake, and I'd accuse them of lying. Absolutely. Like I said, as far as like figures go, these contrast painted ones, are they going to be like the best figures I've ever done? No, but they're the first figures I've ever done with contrast paint. It's just solid contrast paint, and that's the reason why I'm going to be posting them, because I think, one, it's nice for people to see figures that are painted in a different way. Two, I can then do a contrast painting video in a year's time, a few months' time, compare my old ones to my new ones and see how far I've come. And also, for beginners, the type of level of painting I've done there is probably what people would expect for someone who's just getting into contrast paints. So it's all about, you know, being completely transparent and learning from the process. Yeah, it's so true, great. 100%. 100%. Anybody who sits there and says they're an expert painter and have done it expertly the entire time is lying to you. Everyone started somewhere. Everyone started somewhere. Right, so I've just got the silver highlight to do. It's good to try new things to expand your skill set. Exactly. So that's the reason why this year, my main two things, my two things, the two skills I want to improve on, the two things I want to do this year, I want to do more contrast-based painting. Not necessarily exclusively just contrast paints, but I want to use more contrast paints because I've kind of avoided them. And I want to get better at highlighting just to make sure I'm getting, you know, a little bit more neat with that. So those are the two skills that I want to work on for 2026, personally. Considering the fact that in the last year, I've got to this level in a year, I would say this is pretty good for a year of growth. So I'm pretty happy with that. It'd be interesting to see in a year's time how far I've come again. So I'm just going in with some Stormhair Silver just to highlight the silver on this. I want to expand my base game and use light colors. Yeah, so I need to also like focus on my bases. So that's the reason why, even though these are just being based with Stirland mud for now, I'm going to be painting some skulls. I'm going to be adding them to these bases. So ignore the fact that they're going to be just painted in Stirland mud for now, because they will be built on. So Stormhost Silver. Surprise, surprise, it is raining again. You just hear it thumping on the roof. Has anybody else got any goals they want to focus on in 2026? So everyone talks about their New Year's resolutions. Let's not necessarily talk New Year's resolutions. Let's talk about skills we want to improve on over the next year. And I'm just not talking about painting. I'm talking about anything really there. How do you think I feel when I have to listen to it the whole day? Yeah, to be honest, we've been listening to it on and off. But it is January in the UK. We can't really expect miracles, can we? Anything else worth seeing in Nottingham area other than Warhammer World? Depends on your preferences, really, Stender. I'm more than happy to do like a little itinerary for you, because I like doing that kind of stuff. So I have one resolution not to have any. You're doing pretty good so far. Awesome, you're doing great. Do you and your partner like cats by any chance, Stender? Because if you like cats, I've got another place you could go. We love cats, or at least I do. So in Nottingham, there is a very cute cat cafe. So you can go in and snuggle with some kitties. There is a cat in there called Paul, and he had like an ear infection when he was a baby. So his head is like lopsided. So the only way he sees straight is by having a wonky head to the side. It's really adorable. So that's an option if you like that. I will have a 2K Dark Angels army done by the end of the year. I want to get better at video editing and stuff for the channel, and I want to make some bits in a blender that can be used in 40K. Ooh, I currently have a little blender experience. So there we go, that's something for you to work on for you. I need to work on building up my bases, because hopefully not cat related, Grey. Yeah, hopefully not. Yeah, I need to work on building up my bases, because it gets to the point where I get a bit bored when it comes to the bases, so I just go really plain, and I tend to just shove on a bunch of Stirland mud and leave it at that. I'll have to have a look, Stender, and see if there's any events going on in July and let you know. Because the Nottingham City Centre is very, very close to Warhammer World. It's a tram journey, so it's very, very quick to get to. Much appreciated, thanks. No worries at all. Very welcome. Be good to know, because I'm kind of, obviously with the Wii one and being off for the next year, I'm looking for stuff to do as well myself. Because there's going to be times when Mr. Nerd is away at work and it's just going to be just me and the Wii one. So it would be nice to actually plan some stuff and do stuff and get out and about a bit. Yeah, I was surprised to see a tram near Warhammer World. Yeah, there's a tram station just outside Warhammer World. Isn't there some Robin Hood related stuff in Nottingham too? Yes, there's also Nottingham Castle. So if you like castles, there's Nottingham Castle for you to go to. You have kind of in the general area, like a museum. I know Sherwood Forest is somewhat underwhelming. Yes, but there is Sherwood Forest and Sherwood Pines. So if you kind of like nature walks, then you might like to have a little wander around Sherwood Forest. And that's kind of in and around Nottingham rather than Nottingham directly. But yeah, there's quite a few things really. It just depends on what your preference is. I'm finally having a look at your Bellacore, and it looks absolutely incredible. And the Chaos Knights are awesome as well. Right, on to Stirland Mud now. History and culture is where I'm at. Walks in nature as well. Yeah, so we can definitely recommend a few museums and places like that for you as well then. Right, onto the Stirland Mud. It's going to do a really quick basic base on Stirland Mud on this. And then I'll move on to our third and final figure, and I'll do the bases another time. I'll probably do them in a video, actually. It's not obviously a massive video, but it's just about like building up the bases to see, because Mr. Neb and I were having a discussion about this the other day, and as much as obviously you pay a lot of attention to the figure, when you're looking down on a figure, the main thing you're seeing is the base. So it's something I want to improve on this year, just to kind of focus a bit more attention onto the bases, just so that they're not so plain. Because I did, like a year ago, I was like, well, beginning of this year, I was like really focused on bases when I was doing my Sylvaneth stuff. Like cherry blossoms, I had absolutely loads of cherry blossom, like, stuff to use. So because of that, I've really focused really heavily on bases. And I think it almost like burnt me out a little bit, because I was like, oh god, that took so long to do. But I forget, then you remember how good they look, and it's important to base help unify your army too. Exactly. So it's like I put a lot of effort into my Space Force bases, and for them, like I did multiple. I did like a blending of paints. I did Ard coat to make it shiny, and then I added snow. You know, like it obviously is completely fitting that they'd be on snow bases. But because of that, it just means that I have to get back into it a little bit. Tell a story through my bases a little bit. Tell the story of where my things have been. I've had a lot of good experience working with self-hardening clay for my bases lately. It takes a while to dry though, and much cheaper than green stuff. Definitely. We did that for our we'd used air drying clay for our Armies on Parade board. Last year we did the Mines of Moria with the Watcher in the water, and in fact if you give me a minute I'll go grab it real quick to show you. But I used resin, I made bones, I painted the whole figure, I made the cave. So if you give me 1 second, I will go grab it for you and show you, because it's still out and about, so I'll just quickly grab it. I'm back. I will turn it around, obviously, accordingly. So this whole cave here was made of expanding foam. Obviously, you then have the Fellowship and the Watcher. This base you can see here is made entirely out of resin, which I tinted. And underneath that, the expanding foam goes all the way down to 3/4 of the board. And the little things here you can see are homemade bones made out of air drying clay. So, yeah. Just turn the camera up a little bit and I'll move it back a little bit. Nice. Yeah, so this one didn't win anything this year, but this was like our first experience using like pouring a good, really strong pouring of resin. Hey, that's impressive. Thank you. So this was our third one. So our second board, our third entry, and you can see there's like little pools and stuff where the resin wasn't 100% dry, but this was like 3 days of just curing this resin. Because it was UV cure, because it's what I had. But I think in future I'll just go for traditional resin, 24-hour resin, because I've used that before making coasters and it worked much better. So yeah, that was our third entry for Armies on Parade. But this is all expanding foam, so it's all squishy, which is great fun. But yeah, when I say it's like a thick layer, that's all resin. So it took a while. Push that to one side and I'll put it away when I'm done today. But yeah, I've never done an Armies on Parade board. So we did our first one last year. I have a photo. When is it? I think it's October. I'll have to double check now, because we're doing it again this year. But it was really fun, actually. It was like a solid week each. So it's around, typically held in autumn, around October, November time. This haven't specified dates yet, but they will be announced in the coming months. So the way it is, you can have like a 2x2 board. So that's 2 foot by 2 foot. You don't have to go all the way up to that size, but that's like the max size you can go up to. I'm just finding a photo of our board that won bronze to show you guys. It is on the channel as well. But I can just show you what won and what actually won us something. So this was our board that won us bronze. Trying to get up close, you can really see that. Not if the camera's in focus. So that is Sylvaneth versus Fyreslayers on a 2 foot by 2 foot board. The cave you can see is made out of tinfoil, and then the bases, I've got 2 pools that I made for swamps and a bunch of foliage and stuff like that. And that's it from above. And you can see there's a giant hole in the side. That was actually a lava pit, so I cut it out just so you could see the lava pit. Originally, it was going to be completely open so we could see the Fyreslayers inside, but I ran out of time. So that's what we did, but that came third. last year. It was our first ever entry. So to come third on our first time was pretty impressive. So that was our third and final one. Our third place bronze winner from last year. And I used a bunch of like wire covered in hot glue to make dead trees. But yeah, that was last year's. So this year we need to go bigger and better. But depending on your entries, completely depends on what your local store is into. So I do the creativity involved with Armies on Parade. Yeah, it's really, really awesome. Like when I went in, they had so many entries that were so impressive. And I was like, how do you even come up with that idea? It was mind-boggling to me, but in the best way. And I'm just going to build up this other guy's base real quick. And then I'll start painting the third guy. But some of the entries, I was like, how in the world did you come up with that? But like certain rules, obviously, that apply. So like you can't mix mediums. So you can't mix 40k and Age of Sigmar with. Obviously, you can't mix the two, and you can't add like Lord of the Rings figures into it. Like it has to be its own thing. And you can only enter something once. So, for example, I have 2 Sylvaneth armies. I have a Warcry Sylvaneth army, which is the one I used for my winning board. And then I have a Cherry Blossom army. So I did the Cherry Blossom army as an individual entry, because in addition to the boards, you can also just enter your armies. So if you have an entire army painted, you can enter that into one of them, and it's just the army on their own, no board. And it works just fine. I'm adding Nuln Oil to my Helldrake to give it more Grimdark. Yep, Nuln Oil is the good way to go. If you want to just build something up, add a Grimdark, just kind of add some definition. When in doubt, add Nuln Oil. But yeah, so the original one was like just the armies, and when I went in with mine, I could see the other entries. I was like, I don't think I'm winning anything in this category. But it's entering and, you know, giving it a go that counts. Because it's that thing of, if you don't enter, you don't know. You can't win if you don't take part. Exactly. And also, it's just a great opportunity for you to like really push your creative juices. Like for me, I used like paint, I used resin, I used expanding foam. Like I used mediums that I wouldn't traditionally think to use. You miss all the shots you don't take. Exactly. And that was like a big thing. It was something that was new. I was nervous to do it, but I'm really happy I did. Obviously, we won 1. Hopefully this year our aim is to win 2. But if I have any advice, in addition to obviously, if you don't try, you don't know, it's to like listen to your local store and kind of see what people are mostly interested in. Because the main reason why it's a great way to express your own style. Exactly. Like we were kind of told by our manager, one of the main reasons why our last board didn't get as much love is because the main area of focus in our local store is 40k. So I'm probably going to be using my Dark Angels for this year's entry. I went on Armies on Parade with some friends because we were the only ones participating. I painted Celestial Chariot and glittered up the base. I remember you saying this, like you said you went in and now your store's probably permanently plagued with glitter. As it should be. Right, I'm going to start with Corn Red this time. It still counts, Simon Bud. Exactly. And it was really, really cool. The entry you did was awesome. Yeah, they'll remember for eternity. All of the glitter. Because obviously the aim for this year is obviously to get my Dark Angels painted before May, which won't be too difficult for me, I don't think. And also get my Nighthaunt Spearhead painted, because those two are going to be really big contributing factors to my numbers for the figures I'm pledging. And obviously all of this will be on the channel. But those are like my big contenders for what I'm contributing to the challenge this year. The plan is for next week, when I'm not able to stream as much because obviously Mr. Nerd's not going to be here to take the wee man, I am pledging 25. Awesome. My aim was between like 50 to 100. But the aim, ideally, is to get out an additional video to kind of make up for the fact that I'm not going to be streaming. I'm already looking at painting roughly 70 by the end of March, so I think I should push it. I think so. I believe in you, you can do it. I'll go in and I'll make my own list in the channel after this, because I was just like thinking, like, what do I need to paint? So I need to finish off Darkwater, I need to do my Dark Angels Combat Patrol, and I need to do my Nighthaunt army. Those are the main three that I'm contributing. So, and I know Mr. Nerd and I plan on picking up a couple of kill teams this year, so I might have an additional kill team between now and then. That makes one of us. I believe in you. I will say I believe in you because I think you can do it. Oh, my cat's here. So in Warhammer Quest Darkwater, there are 49 push fit plastic miniatures. So already I'm up to 49 by the time I finish the Darkwater set, which is still going to be quite a lot, but I know I can do it. I can do it 100%. So that's 49. I'm curious now. I'm just working out how many I still need to do. $19 in the Combat Patrol. So 68 already between the Combat Patrol and Darkwater alone. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm up to 76 at the moment, and that is not including my Nighthaunt. And I have 25 in the spearhead we have, which is the Cursed Shackle Cord. So that brings it up to exactly to 101 figures. So I think by leaving it at those numbers, I will be just fine. It's just of making sure I have the time to do it all. But obviously doing it on stream is really, really helpful because it allows me to paint multiple figures, and obviously I get to do it in the company of you lovely lot, so it makes it nice. And obviously because I haven't got work to consider, I just have taken care of the wee one. And at the moment my main process of, I know most people it's like, oh, sleep when the baby sleeps. No, it's paint when the baby sleeps. And record when the baby sleeps at the moment. And then sometimes sleep when the baby sleeps. It's like a combination of those three things. You're home. Glad you're home safe and sound. Signed. What is on the agenda for dinner tonight, signed? Have stir fry to make after this today. My son is 6 years old, and I really don't remember much time to paint or anything else back when he was a month or two old. I tip my hat to you. Thank you. It'll be interesting, because obviously it all completely depends on how well I do next week when Mr. Nerd isn't here. So it's going to be solo parenting from next week. I didn't really eat, not that hungry. Fair enough, signed. But yeah, it completely depends from next week. Because during the day, he's a pretty good sleeper. It's at night when he's not the best sleeper. So when I have those little windows of peace or whatever, I can do little things. Hopefully. We'll find out. Yeah, I had a few people so far. Next week is my birthday. Awesome. How old are you turning? If you don't mind me asking. Right. Now I'm going to move on to... If I can find where it's hiding. There we go. Futurama. 17. Well, happy birthday for next week. I am a spooky season baby, so I've still got a very long time before my birthday. I put everything I've painted so far in the Discord. Ooh, have a look at that in a moment. Forgot to do it yesterday. No worries at all there, signed. So using Retributor armor for that. You're a young man, Mr. Cool. Stay dedicated to your hobby. I'm sure you'll be an amazing painter before you know it. Exactly, I think so. Yeah, there are certain things I want to achieve before my my birthday this year, both like personal goals and career-wise goals. When I say career-wise, I mean stuff like this. I want to kind of get to about, I want to say about 700, 800 subs by my birthday. Which, if we keep going the way we're going, I think will be perfectly achievable. Thank you. And me and a great Agrex Earthshade have problems against each other. Remember you saying... Yeah, I'd like to get the channel to 800 subs ideally by October. That would be awesome. I'd like to have got better with contrast painting. And I just want to be a little bit healthier. Like, I'm far from being, like, I'm not overweight by any means at all, but I just want to be a little bit healthier, a little bit stronger. It's got to be wait to be given the all clear from the doctor post baby. And I'll be getting on with that goal. Like, literally none of the other paints I have problems with but Agrex. Agrex is the bane of your existence. Yeah, the next year, obviously, like I said, I'm off till December of this year now. So I want to see how far I can get the channel within the next year. Before I return to normal working life. So between that and being mum, we'll have to see what we can achieve over the next year. And I think if anybody who's watching hasn't already subscribed to the channel, if they could subscribe to the channel, it would be really, really helpful. One, obviously just shows us you like this content and it means our community can grow a little bit more. And if you haven't already subscribed and liked the video, then, or liked the stream, then please like the stream. Pleases the algorithm gods. And if you have Discord and you haven't already joined, then please join the Discord because we have fun over there. And at times over the last week or so where I've muted myself and unmuted myself, I keep continuously checking my mic now just to make sure. The first 75 years of January are always the hardest. Can't wait for February to come around. I don't want to be stuck at home anymore, although I do have a lot of time for painting and filming, I guess. Yeah, it's those little things, isn't it? Yeah, I think as far as goals for the year, I think, you know, getting better at certain skills is definitely an achievable one. At the bare minimum, if nothing else, being able to be better at contrast painting, being better at highlighting, they're definitely achievable goals because, like I said, if I do this... the background music is quite epic. It's a YouTube list or something. This is copyright-free music that I've got on Spotify. Haven't heard from Mr. Nerd in a while. I'm assuming he might be napping because the baby might be asleep. I'll go in and do some cleaning up with some black in a moment. Saying he went dark on me. Yeah, I think he's fallen asleep. Not that I blame him. He will be waking up after the stream, or maybe even actually during the stream. And he will be recording a bunch of stuff tonight, so he'll have quite a late night. So, and I'll be up with the wee one. So between the two of us, we won't be getting much sleep today. So he needs to take the sleep while he can, and I'll take it later, hopefully when I can, so long as the wee one stays asleep. Oh, totally. Get the rest while you can. That's exactly it. Like I said, I find it hard during the day when he's sleeping to sleep. And obviously that's like the best advice everyone gives. It's like, sleep when the baby sleeps. Like, I can't always sleep when the baby sleeps. I have stuff to do. I have figures to paint. I have videos to make. I have laundry to do. Like, I have stuff that needs to be done. Then it gets to about like 5 p.m. Normally like a couple of hours before stream, and I'm like, I could use a nap. But I know if I nap at that time, I'm going to sleep straight through the window when I should be streaming. And it's normally the time when the wee one's like deciding whether or not it wants to wake up. Because sometimes he sleeps all the way through and then wakes up before Mr. Nerd. And then he just ends up sleeping as soon as he's kind of like had his milk. Or you end up with the one that I had today where from like 4 p.m. onwards, he was like, it's time to wake up. That, and especially when they are little, every tiny sound they make is like an alert that you need to check if they check or if they could be simply chilling. Absolutely. The amount of noises that the little one makes, and Mr. Dad said, was that you? What was that noise? And I'm like, it was him. Is he okay? Yes, he's still breathing. He is fine. He's just making peculiar noises. Like he started making a new crying or whinging noise today, not even a cry. And I was like, that's new. But they're also the most dramatic things in the entire world. Like, the way he screams, not cries, screams when he's due a bottle, and all I'm doing is like walking, like I'll put him in his Moses basket, go to the kitchen to grab the bottle. The way this child screams, you'd think he's been starved. Meanwhile, he's eating 5 or 6 ounces every single time he eats. Like, he is far from starved. And then you get the ones where they like hold their breath for a minute and you're like, why are you doing that? Please breathe. And you could be walking around the house like making as much noise as possible. You could be hoovering, banging pans together, anything. Nothing. The minute you like cough near them, they're like, and they just jolt out of their skin. And you're like, how? How is that the thing that wakes you up of all the noises? Right, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Abaddon Black now just to do some cleaning up around some edges. It's low-key a good thing to get them used to noise anyway, to be honest. Absolutely. Like, from day one, we've been making, not necessarily as much noise as possible, but like a normal, normal amount of noise around the house. Just because I think if they're going to be asleep during the day, napping, they need to be used to noise. The house can't be a silent house when they're sleeping. Obviously, we're not going to have someone going into their room and like messing with them and waking them up and making as much noise as possible in that regard. But I'm not going to not do stuff around my house when my little one's sleeping. Just because, you know, like I said, they need to get used to it. So, just Abaddon Black. But yeah, there's no such thing as like a quiet baby either. Like, they make so many strange noises in their sleep. It's very strange and sometimes a little bit scary. The only thing I need to work on now at the moment is like just trying to eat 3 meals a day. The amount of times like I'm sat there and I can tell you exactly how many bottles and how many ounces he's had. And then he'd go, oh, have you eaten today? And I'm like, nope, I forgot. I forgot to eat. Amongst being sleep deprived, that's one of the things I did forget. I haven't got super frazzled yet though, like I'm still remembering vaguely where things are. I'm going to summon Lead Belcher now and do his sword. You'll realise how bad it is when you find your keys in the fridge and the milk in the cupboard. I think that'll be next week. I think, to be honest, I'll be probably quite grateful for the fact that Mr. Nerd isn't here. Because I think solo parenting with a month-old, because he's a month-old tomorrow, and still trying to, you know, run 2 channels, paint, and, you know, keep a child alive. I think I'll be grateful for a week of less streams in that regard, because it just means that hopefully when the little man is sleeping around this time, I can go up there and to lay with him for a bit, go to sleep, catch up on some sleep during like a relatively normal hour, aka when it's actually dark, and go from there. Wow, I feel like that's gone well fast. It has. It has gone really fast. So it's been like a month. Like a month tomorrow. And I'm not sure I'm ready for that already. Like, I was putting him in an outfit the other day. That was like an up to 1 month outfit, and he's like barely he's like squeezing into it now. And I'm like, ooh, I should probably upgrade that to 1 to 3 months or 0 to 3 months. And I put him in an outfit today that's like 0 to 3 months now, so he buries him. I'm like, well, what do I do in this weird in-between stage? He doesn't fit the newborn, doesn't fit up to 1 month, has to go in the 0 to 3. But it just looks absolutely massive on him, which is helpful, because it means that my baby looks like a tiny baby for a bit longer. But it's also a bit ridiculous because nothing fits him. Oh, wow, Mr. Nerd just showed up in the Discord. In that case, then, he is awake. Or awake again now. I have awoken. You managed to have a nap then. Is the wee one still asleep? His ears must have been burning. Must have. Have you woken up because the wee one woke you up, or have you just naturally awoken? Feels strange being able to do that. I haven't been naturally awoken by myself in a month. The nurgling has been rather calm. Hopefully it doesn't jinx that. Find out shortly if I hear screaming whether or not I jinx that for him. Right, just gonna go in with a little bit of... Nope, not Celestial Grey. I want Rakoff Flesh. Must be Dreaming of the Warp. Must be. I'm gonna go in and just do a couple of little things with this. Have you seen the limited edition Warhammer models? No, I have not. This will be the last of the base colours now, because I'm going to do this and the robes underneath. And then we're officially onto the shading section already. Yeah, there are a lot of limited edition models. Is there a specific one you're talking about, Cool? Sorry, is that to cough? Like the Croup one, signed arse. Is that the one you're talking about, Cool? There's quite a few. You get different pair each year for Warhammer Plus. The most recent Special Combat Patrols were limited run. Then there's like made to order limited runs with throwback metal minis. The Croup one, they conveniently looks like one of the characters from the Warhammer 40k Dark Heresy game. The Steel Rook one, that one on the website. Space Marines 2 coming to Game Pass soon, by the way, for anyone who doesn't have it yet. Mr. Nerd played that when it came out on live on stream. Enjoyed it very much. He's not been streaming recently just because his computer's been playing up a little bit. But when he eventually gets that sorted out, he will be streaming again. For anyone who's interested in specifically gameplay content, when Mr. Ned is streaming again, we'll basically take it in turns, where there'll be some nights where I'm painting and some nights where he's streaming, because our setups are right next to each other, so we can't do both at the same time, unless one of us doesn't talk. Right, Ferrari is done. Going to take some whips for the Discord and then getting back to my stuff. Awesome. Love to see the photos. going to go back in with a little bit more corn red on the seals. There we go. My lid for my paintbrush has gone walkabouts. Aha, found it. There we are. Trying to make my light box work without blowing out the background light is a frustrating time. Add that to the list of things to do this year. Get good at pictures. I really need to work on that as well. Because we have obviously our lovely filming camera, and then but I'm still taking most of my photos on my phone because for some reason it doesn't want to focus on my camera. But that is something I'm definitely going to work on this year. So we've got a light box, and we originally were using white as a background colour, but we were finding it was like diffusing the edges a bit too much and making them kind of fuzzy looking. So now we've switched to a black backdrop, and it seems to focus, it seems to help focus it a bit more. Yeah, we bought a light box and it helps so much. It really does. Because before we were having to wait for good lighting or use the lights that we use for filming. Because right now I have one that is the one I'm using now, and it has like a few colour settings. So I can make it like a blue, warm, or white light. And white light is just better for streaming. If I use any of the others, it almost looks weird to me. Right, onto my shading now. Nope, actually I lie. I've got a whole section here that I have not painted, which is the robes. And for that I'm going to be using, where did I put it? Rack Flesh. I keep getting notifications from like the Discord, and I can just see someone calling Mr. Nard a heretic. I'm assuming that is probably Arch. Few more little gold details, so I'll go ahead and add those now. Mr. Nerd's off to one side. He's come down to grab a little drink whilst the wee man sleeps in his crib. And so far, like staying in the house is just what a day. Sometimes he says it as soon as he's woke up in the morning, so it kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how the day's going to go.
Apparently me collecting tau makes me a heretic.
Apparently you collecting tau makes you a heretic, yes.
Who figured? Back in my box.
Go on, back in your box, back to the baby. It would be nice when Mr. Nerd can stream again, because then hopefully we can get back to playing some, well, I say we, Mr. Nerd can play some horror games and I can sit there and scream and get freaked out by the fact that Mr. Nerd is just unmoved by anything horror related. It's quite terrifying, actually. I think Sign can attest to that as well. How terrifying it is to watch Mr. Nerd play horror games. Because he's more terrified than the horror games themselves. Like, I'm genuinely getting, like, freaked out, screaming, panicking, heart rate going through the roof sometimes. And he's just sat there, like, laughing. It's like, what is wrong with you? You're not a normal person, I swear. Slightly sinister, isn't it? He's unfazed by it, exactly, completely unfazed. Meanwhile, I get distracted by, like, cats making loud noises and stuff in the background, which already freaks me out, and then I turn around to a jump scare. Horror games are the best, same with movies. Yeah, we do play a lot, or he plays a lot of horror games or horror game content. He loves horror game content, and we do watch a lot of horror movies. So there's a few times now where, like, Mr. Nerd will, like, try and put on a film before bed. I Am Warriors has a combat patrol. I'm not going to go in with the Seraphim Sepia just because that needs to go over the robes and they're still drying, but I'm going to go in with the other colours for now. So I'm going to start with Agrax Earthshade over any of the metallics. aka Siege Assault Battle. Ooh, do they now? Looking forward to Mr. Nerd's streams as well then. Yeah, he's got a few on there already from previous games we've played. They were called Spooky Sundays, but we're just waiting for him to figure everything out with his computer. At the moment he keeps crashing when he's trying to do certain things, which is obviously incredibly frustrating for him. But once he's got that figured out, then there'll be some streams where you'll see us together, like his horror streams, where he'll be streaming and I'll be screaming. And then his gameplay content during the week. And then my painting streams. So between the two of us, there will be plenty of content to watch and catch up on as well. I hope he'll play Puppy Playtime Chapter 5. He will, as soon as he can, he will. And it doesn't bug out like it did last time. Yeah, that kept happening. It was actually right at the end as well. Like, we had the immersion, it was going good, and then it started bugging. And as soon as it started bugging, it was like, and immersion gone. And it was quite frustrating. Going in with some Nuln Oil now. Focusing that mostly on the blade and then over the robes. And then we'll call it at the shading stage today. And then tomorrow we'll do the highlights. Bobby Playtime was funny, and to be honest, the last boss fight was so buggy. In fairness to Mr. Nerd, someone has to collect out. I'd rather it was him than me. Exactly. Someone has to do it. So of course it has to be Mr. Nerd. Fairpoint Grey, we should thank Mr. Nerd for taking the burden. Someone has to be the punching bag. In this case, it has to be Mr. Nerd. There we go. Just got to go on some Seraphim Sepia now, and then we will call it at that for tonight. Haha, leave me and the Wolfu Gundam alone. Someone has to do it, Mr. Nerd, and someone has to be bullied. In this case, it's you. Just accept it. It's easier if you just accept it. Just checking before the bot slaps me into oblivion again. Which channel would you like whips in? And 4 at a time, not to get blapped. That would be... I have to double check now. Public showcase is fine if you do want to pop it in that one. Yeah, you can do it in general chat or the public showcase, whichever one you prefer. I do want to pick one of the baskets like a Gundam and one cell shaded. That would be really cool. You mentioned about doing that before. But okay. That is, the bot has calmed down, Gray. I put the bot into the naughty corner. The bot is in timeout. So that will be it for today's stream. Tomorrow we'll be finishing off this figure, and I'll probably do, so I'll finish off this figure and I'll finish off the Plague Blight thing that we did the other week. I just didn't finish it off because I moved on to these guys. So I'll finish him off tomorrow just so you can see him completed. Before I move on to something else, which will be probably something to do with my combat patrol, to be honest. Just so I can get started on that. And then when Mr. Nerd is back and I can stream more or less every day, I will then do Lion. But for now, yep, Bob. We're gonna finish off Bob. So it'll be him finishing off tomorrow and this last inner circle companion. So thank you everybody for joining the stream today. So that's Stender, that's Gray, obviously Mr. Nerd, even though you fell asleep, we'll forgive you. Signed, Cool. And was there anybody else who joined? Yes, there was right at the top, I remember correctly. Longinus. So yeah, thank you everybody who joined and everybody who joined the channel today, who subscribed to the Discord, subscribe to the channel and obviously join the Discord. Bob the Blight Knight, that's the one. I'm going to finish him off tomorrow. So have a good evening everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.